yeah. I know this.
Okay, thank you.
나 너진 관계 걸로야 보시큰 정도요. 걸로야 보시겠나? 되네. 표가진 있다.
So just trying to cultivate the proper motivations, which really, with proper motivations, makes a lot of difference to our practice.
개성한다. 내서 이제 봐라. 타발라 소비 대치 패선 발라 니서네. 아디게는데 맞아서 영화 돌려지나. 네. 영화들 예제서 예정 마야래 대아부시에서. 영화 질래 그래라. 영화 세대 디빈 데브레스. 디파pun데시. 대아 질래 대아 센데네. 아 게이거지네. 데브레 게아든데. 정한정에는 롤 맞아버지 개좀 저라 있어. 치바에는 맞아 보셔서 저시 그걸 봐. 갈보가 한 사마비 아래 디파폰 거래. 야드 거. 로팅고 만든 로군도. 딜로드 가제 고시 채워져. 디바셰바 뉴거래. 게아셰바 몽거래. 디바셰바 뉴 야 셰바 누노 로 살살로 로 탄선로 얘네 고치잖아 야리 하는 들들 짠 말이야 다선 때지 대매아지 디바셰바 무슨 로 털털털로네 고자마지 가까이요 말이야 로 사바사 용거야 말 그들 디바냥 안도 깨는 디피드 다 얘네 이다 다선 대도가래서 맞아봐서 거래 동아래네 디빈 대비 디바 포근데아 소래 동아 돌레지가 딜래 이거야 얘뭐대야 대용고 뭐대야 다 대아질랜데 개인 대비 개아 저거서 개한테 로들래 그래 대아 tel라테니 지금 제지 하나 가지 차바만 되었더니 용어도 제 주먹에는 뒷녀래 끝까지에는 맞았어. 열 마디알에 가도 큰로래. 열 대아에 가도 차발래. 진리서는 열 마디알에 그래 디바푼데 계속 받을래 용어도. 대아질래 그래 개한테 선발래네 계속 받을래 용어도. 일단 차돈이 요사 뭐지와 자 여기 다산동 얘네 다 서치바에 서서 가르고 간 보고 얘는 떨산도가 집에서 해가 말이야 자 다산 데이터야 봐 되는 한자 한 뭐가 가까이 먹이 되는 막 소재까지죠 얘네 개아쳐 저거 먹이아쳐 보고 다 가는 거는 뭐 그래서 먹이아쳐도 개아쳐 뭐 뭐시 완전 요 말이야 또는 데리토라 아버는 대파제 자네더니 아빠 야채 마시더니 대파제 자네 고자야 마시 녀 렌데 녀세 제다에 마시면 안
Okay, so as to the teaching, so we stop at these sections, which is which says on reflecting on the advantages of bearing, suffering's hardships, and so the so before. So in the the preceding section, so we went in great detail about the benefits of developing the passion of the acceptance of sufferings, and so the it is when if we look at that way, if let's say if we lack this patience of accepting of the acceptance of the suffering, so then we cannot then whenever we face suffering or any difficulty or any problems, we would we will dislike and we will hate that, and then this can cause to arise like the anger or hatred within us. And whereas the how when we the situations when we experience is something very favorable, then we normally as a result in that situation we easily allow this like the desire or the attachment to arise. So we get attached to those that situations. So now, however, we have to understand that if we consider ourselves as a spiritual practitioners, so which is very important, that we cannot. It is not just enough to be simply appearing, outwardly appearing as a spiritual practitioners. So rather, there's a inwardly as a practitioner. There's a inwardly within ourselves. There is certain there's certain things. There should be certain things that we have to value, and that value is to do with the in terms of the things relating to things that we should adopt in our life, and those things that we should discuss or we should get rid of. So this is the really very important to be very to whatever practice, spiritual practice we do, even meditation practice that we do. All these practices are aimed at to enabling us to adopt, to do the things that we should be doing, and to discard or abandon the things that we need to get rid of. So therefore, from this perspective, now how if we are able to integrate this patience of the acceptance of the tolerance, then what specifically if we are able to the remind or remember all this the positive sides of this the difficulties, the problems, and the suffering that we face in our life. So where the positive side is that this is all suffering, when we face that, it kind of it should be reminding us the bad outcome or the detrimental effects of the negative actions or the non-virtues, non-virtues. So therefore, when it should help us, when these such a adversity situations, so should help us to motivate, to instill in our mind to rather this thought of like abandoning or refraining from non-virtues, and then at the same time, of course, the sins, we also understand as we learn in this as part of the thinking on reflecting on the benefit of the practice of this thinking on the sufferings. So one expects that how the suffering also teach us the value of the joy and happiness that that we are missing, that we are deprived of at that time, and so therefore it should be also instilled in our mind to adopt the virtues, virtues, actions. So in this way, it's suppose if we really applied all this practice of the of adopting the virtues and to discarding the non-virtues, and then we will find that as a result of this, as we become more, as we develop in this practice, and and also as we become ourselves more, our mind more familiar with this kind of adopting the thought, always thinking of trying thought of adopting the virtue and to discarding the non-virtues, and then this should the outcome of the result is that it should bring more like a stability, inner stability and peace and a clarity really in our within our mind. And so these are all happen. This is all a result from increasing more virtue and then diminishing the non-virtues or the sinful actions, and so therefore otherwise how this is so. Therefore, it's very important to it's really very on the very fundamental, very essential that we in our spiritual practice that we adopt this to practice, integrate this practice of the cultivating virtues, practicing virtues and abandoning non-virtues. So which we all know that how even the Lord Buddha has also taught us that there are 10 virtues that we should practice, and there are in opposite to that 10 non-virtues that we should abandon. So that is from the Buddha's own advice, and so therefore it's really we have to understand that, and we should be very careful that in trying to following our practice, spiritual path, we kind of put aside all these very important teachings aside, and then to engage in something that which we believe that this is something very advanced meditation practice or something very profound, then we are deluding ourselves.
Yeah, gather round David Theatre. Then Magade run them, they been David in Joviar, some tattoo. That's there, and those in Lenin Jabi Shira, anything other Chichiar. Chichena, Sosan David Theatre, Gardens drug, Gat and Rung David Theatre, Magat and Rung David Drugmanua, Madame Drugmanua. Santo. Asian others say, Yard, David had doing, I cheat had doing, Divaboy, say, Lala, Kegger, on the Teniche, then Calico device, Charaso, Tumbo Malawa, Dacharaso. Here, remember with any trouble, too much of the Charason and cutting my lager, Penna, so much. She said, Lord Nella and Jin, Nella, Chelvichena, what else over yard? So I took the Cheva, Jan, Yella, Chi. Maybe somebody and happened to not this yard. My baby, that's somebody in my banga. Maybe somebody was at the pay up was and what else over there? That's a lot of water, Majek, I'm not sure. And your son on the massage on San Touch Hachimadic. Shangri touch Kasha and just how was Shangri was you touch and Shangri and you got. The other time, say, I just how and say younger costs, Shangri was you there. Hearing any chin, you can, the Jimac says, and the Jimac taking and so we are. That's the love that I was not there.
So as far relating to this the practice of adopting like 10 virtues and then the discarding 10 non-virtues. So it is not something which is unique to Buddhism, but also you find this this teaching is also taught in other religions like the Christianities, like in some even in Islam and in Hindus, and so therefore the which we can find that whichever the spiritual tradition we check, so we'll find the it gives some sort of instructions, advice or guidelines to in our life to what to adopt and what to discard, and so now there is for example there is a reason for that why we need to adopt those, for example, the 10 virtues and to discard 10 non-virtues. The reason is because it is said that the 10 virtues are the causes, are served as a cause for the happiness that we seek, and the good result which are desirable, which we wish to to have, whereas the non-virtuous 10 non-virtues are said which we need to discard because it brings a result which is undesirable, which we do not want, and so therefore now, however, the when we it is in the same for all of us, that we all, that the fact that there is a deep down there's a that a wish, always a desire for happiness and to desire for abandoning sufferings on unhappiness, but then however the how we live our life and how we in practice what we do, then the causes that we create then is quite opposite, to on the contrary to what we really seek in our life. So therefore, you can imagine that there is, if we continue like that, and then therefore, there is no really hope for to find more happiness. Even if we think that we are following the spiritual practice and we're doing meditation practice and so forth. So therefore, you may sound I sound very direct to you, but however what I'm saying here is also something that I myself trying to put into practice, and so in this way it is important that we do we put the teaching into practice if we really look for some benefit, gain some benefit from the teaching, and look for some improvement, see some improvement in our life, and so therefore it is to of course I'm also can say here that if you find these kind of advice very noisy to your to your ear, and then you can close your to a hearing. I mean, even the same thing, even His Holiness Dalai Lama also says that quite frequently in his talk. So because we had the point is very important to say this, because we have to how when it comes to practice, then we really are very behind, and in fact it's quite opposite to what we learned and what we really wish to for in our life. So now we continue the Lam Rim teaching. So the sections. Reflecting on the advantages of bearing suffering's hardship has two parts, reflecting on the crucial benefits such as liberation, etc., and the reflecting on the benefit of dispelling immeasurable sufferings.
Is that Tavala be teaching, pay somebody to start in Rosmo, and doing it, then now Tavatin the Lord Lake. Rotated the Tenisa, all doing on our theatre, the Yeti Nichimbo. I tell you, I'll get to and Rosa some tattoo. Is that out and born? That dead and there was no sure to love da says wrong da Koana Koi says give up member there was usually shadows Dungan Jung said she Jones and then another lodging in the lesson Dungan Jung she Jung Dunga Tama ched the Sene Shimmy Dunga Padam New Year Jinjibi Tem Mepi Dunga Tama Tonda Lona Tana da the Yeja Pede Malibi Reta Luna asks about Tayum that not belong to the you know, young and other lawyer in it. And then didn't change I had a Kong Koi said, Tandang Kong Koi said, this year, do I ask on death to both Bender, Tonda Luna.
So I'll continue with the reading from the text, and you'll find that if you think on this meaning, it's really very like a striking, you know. It says, repeatedly make your mind steadfast, thinking, I know that in the past, while passing through cyclic existence, so I suffer for the sake of trifling desires and minor deeds. Yes.
Ngoma ta de chambe shi je ta ngene nge ta kaso la de da ka de ji de manza wo de chambe shi je memba de chu chu chambe shi je de ta ma de ji Dungara chi tong de le ne de ba mu sa tin la che we ha da song den du de lu da song de da wo de mo da de ta pe ba de ba shin ba yin ja da den je yu chen de da chung yin la da mi ju nyo do yo che de lo ten ba sha go sa da no dunga tong de lo a ri na da de ra da de che de chu ren ne che de da ji ge de me dunga de chu ji There is children, going to Matembos of Gosses, some tell us how many demand change the rhythm.
And then continue. So yet I disregarded the many sufferings, undergoing a great deal of purposeless sufferings that will in turn cause immeasurable suffering for me in my future lives. So given this, so now that I know that I'm engaged in virtue, so that we accomplish immeasurable benefits and happiness for myself and others, so it is appropriate that I accept suffering 1 trillion times more than before. So of course I will accept sufferings smaller than that. So I won't go in detail, but if we the lines says out the meaning very quite very obvious, very clearly. So essentially it is saying that how we in pursuit of something very trifling or something very meaningless, something very minor goal, minor purpose, for pursuit of that, we sacrifice a great deal of not only a great deal of of hardship or the sufferings, but also in order to perceive that small goal, small purpose, even along that, at the same time we accumulate an enormous, a great number of non-virtues, and so this is what it is saying here. So it's not that, although it says here in the samsara or in the past, but in fact, if we relate this, what is saying here to our what we do in our life, just in this current life, even might be also very much the resonance of our current life. And then continues, there's a quote from engaging in the Bodhisattva's deed states, "For the sake of my desires, I have experienced being burned, etc., thousands of times in the hells, but have not achieved either my own welfare or the welfare of others."
So then David Tessenam, Veneration, David Tessenam, Chapi on which Shala Chala Soba Tenete, all other Mesoja Sebala Soba, Jen Nola Chanetan, Comacalas, Satin, Lobalas, David Tet, Chambero. Then say what Hassan David Tessen, Lord Lobala, Shune, David Te, Zudata, Rosa, Satina, Pajando, Donna, Genera, Mother Reding, you shall I send it? So just said there was Nola Chane, Kamaka Devil. Rejala Chanitani, oh, Tani, Mota, Rata Tessen, David Ted, Lobala Shunigatini, Deviga, Tatini, Ted, then Langabasaya, yes, Saba Suta Soga, take hard, take it in, Dunga Talapa, Nya so, Dunga Jatamo Yondis, Tiramo Yondi. Then Yare, Dunga Yare, let tell it in Dunga Jatamo Yare, then Dagi, Rongi, Ted, Jen, Con, Ting Duma, that's it. Naga Chamber so yard. I don't wrong ten, take yard, wrong 10 dress and drummers. Yeg there the passion the Konichi, my source, Tatia Condiason Tess, David Tess, and Lolo Bala Shunitani, David Tess, I said, but the nigger, that's on the chin that so about so what in something regarded, that's on Tato there.
So in this, the quote from the engaging in the Bodhisattva's deeds really summarize the meaning of the above passage. So when it says, "For the sake of my desires, I have experienced," so when it says here desire, the word desire also as the implied that could imply that you are misled. You are misled by the wrong path, and also it also implied that the desire could be relating to any a 5 sensual objects like this, beautiful sound, the sort of form, sound, and smell and touch, etc. And can refer to that, or to be more specific than how the desire how could be referred to some people who are being desire or out of craving for meat, meat, so they can commit the act of killing animals, or out of their attachment to wealth, and they can commit the act of stealings, and so in this or the attachment or some like the sexual lust, then how this can also then result in committing the sexual misconduct and so forth. So all these are can use this word desire can it indicates, and then it says and as a result of these actions we create. Due to desire, due to attachment, then we experience ourselves in when it says being burned, etc., thousands of times in hell. So basically, all this we experience a great suffering, such as even of the suffering of the hell realms, but have not achieved either my own welfare or the welfare of others, and so, but then other than this experience of suffering. So this whatever we have the action that we have created out of desire. So have not achieved even, let alone the welfare of other beings, but even have not even achieved our own purpose. So that's what he's saying. Have achieved none, but have brings a great amount of suffering upon ourselves. No.
No, Yado, Rodo, Yella, Pembigata, all a church to Cashin, Chitty, Cashin, then there's never Mandus, and then there's a name Malas, I didn't Cassia, Cassia, the one near the name Malas. Never macho, the Dodge and Joe and Jamie said. Rodo, Jelly, Techamo, Tinder, Chitty, Cassia, Tom, the Lenny, Chitty, or Rodo, Yell, Tetra, Chitty, Cassia, Tom, the Mother, there's a matter, Navy Shutters. Then draw it to much, draw it at the Nessa, draw it at the Nessa Tatat, and Seba shape, which Dunga la, Ton the law, Dunga Cassia, Ton the law, Gam Bashi, and the river, a shower, Yedem Bashi, Gago. The something to the Yanadua. Chit debuts and amateur. Ronga dever, Yado, Rella, Pebis, and the chit debut, Cassia, Ton the Lavandi, and the tuna, Yella Gard, Ribadas and Yedem Bashi, Gosh, as your ten Yureta, Sono Teatro, the Apon de Wadzate. There was some shagos, then countries, Bashaw, choosing Batas, Ga Bashit, the Rish Hawash, Ga Bashit, and the Shash and the Shashi, the Bashi Shah, Yedem Bashi, Shah and the Ribares, that him as on the other.
And then the engaging in the Bodhisattva states and then continue. So this is not as harmful as that, and it achieves great purpose. So it is correct here only to delight in suffering. That clears away all beings hurt. So when it says here, this is not as harmful as that. So it refers to the other, like our the previous, in the previous, the meaning of the context of the previous verse, where it says that the amount of sacrifice that we make in fulfilling our desires, in achieving the worldly desires, mundane goal, and how much sacrifice we make in terms of our hardship, in terms of the not only that, then as a result of our actions, then the suffering that that it brings even in future. So it is so great. And then it is saying, when you say not, this is not as. So here referring to this the effort that we put in our like in Dharma practice, in our spiritual practice, or in our meditation practice. So what is said is compared to that, the previous, our normal work. So it is the sacrifice that we are making, that all the degree or the amount of the difficulty or suffering that we have to put up is hardly any at all. That's what he's saying here. This is not as harmful as that, and it achieves great purpose. So it's not harmful, but our practice, the effort that we put in our practice. So it is not that as it's not a great deal of the hardship, or is a great deal of the suffering that we got to tolerate. Tolerate, but however, as he said, it achieves a great purpose. Like say, so it is correct here only to delight in suffering, delight in suffering that clears away all beings hurt. So there is however there's a benefit of achieving the great purpose for as a result of our spiritual practice, the purpose for ourselves and for all other beings, and so therefore, as the text says, so it is correct here only to delight. So therefore, it's saying that whatever the amount or the degree of hardship or the difficulty that we face in our spiritual practice, so it is something worthwhile. It is something we should take delight in.
nga roje te konyo made be ka she te so shi ba la so ni dan te chenbo nde be che de denga che shi ma ze denga thon ma che ma ze de te na denga ye chon da ta ba sha ya ba na da gi che ne le ba ni to nya da sembo to wa che de she ba sha这里有哪个呢？也没得的，这是就去了，真少个的，是吧？人个东北气质吧了，才马修吧这，可是东北气质吧，让给让的在咱小区这吧了，才没得这个这，感谢从的来，那来吧在相对，他就没来吧，那来吧现在相对说了，他从了真从这个全部要套个要到个的，还是。
And then the text continue. Thus, after you reflect on how you have previously created only hardship that did not accomplish any of your own or others' aim, so uplift your mind, thinking, why am I not now bearing a suffering that achieve great purpose? So although I'm suffering, so how excellent that I have found something like this to do. So here it is saying that how recognizing the great benefit that you can reap from the effort that you put in your spiritual practice, practice which leads one to achieve a complete enlightenment. So realizing this, then as it says here, one should try to in the practice, in one's practice, spiritual practice to achieve the supreme enlightenment. So if one face any hardships, and then rather than one should rather see that is really completely like a worthwhile, a worthwhile cause, and is worth of tolerating these. So basically, is to just to to reflecting or this what is said here. So in the face of such a difficulty or the problem that one face, obstacle one face in one's practice, so one should trying to uplift one's spirits, one's courage and the motivations by thinking on this line.
Dunga mo thong de le are. Ena ka shi ni ri te ka shi ni ri te la te na ma de ka ri de ne ro de she de ka yin mo de dunga mo nyo ga ti shen de wa. Ma de dhyan de dunga mo de te zu ma de le ka ki de te le ka le se de ma de ka li ja se de na ma de dunga me ba de se ba yo ge se chi ten de wa. 다 대용지 파절했어. 자체를 잘 파절 중앙에서 세 중앙이랑 해봐. 내한테 줬으면 종이야. 자단죠. 이제 돼야 돼. 다른 게 시야. 이제 안 내서 돼야 돼. 저도 셔줄로 수잖아. 대학 저기에서 대학 대에 채데学사들 등이 저들 마시는 동료. 이제 다 돼. Sandup Tsering, I don't know that. Just every child last year, in the time, in the Danga. Dungan did that, say, Dungania. Must say in a Dungan don't that she said yours. There than that she yours. Here I am, Dungajalang, Moshi, my polo this. There are never any Sakis, there are Chambayana, then a Tommy, the Roma, man, your long do soon the idea. Many others are son dog, the little guy. 손은 대통령다 같이 집에 싶지 연구야. 엄마서서 갈리자자자자 어째 제가라도 갈리자자자자자 배서 제니 아이세 레거를 진짜 내 생각들이 건 맨케나 뜬좀 나슬래요. 드네 갈 드네 뜻으나 칠래거를 엄마 어째 때제 쏴자제 때제 때 현발로 된 거지 거기 차제 집에 출로 된 거나지 다 드니 갈래야 용 된게 될 리절 든 집안 나다 아부 싶어지 용 거야 다 손 다 손으로 대도 돼야 다 되는데 뭐가 샤고스 다 타는 이제다 다 가시 되는 말한데 이제 신년로 신년 년별 선이지 대매비게 대매별로 년발라 주도 주는 로마라 년발라 호서 되데 주제서 봐도 쳐봐도 명화된 봐 소저 가시 잡아 셔봐 당호스 다 되지
So when we think on this, the meaning of this, these lines, then it make us to really to reflect on all our actions. What action that we have been doing throughout our life. Like as if we are doing like some sort of assessment of where we invest our time and our effort and everything, and so therefore it is saying, it is really reminding us that in this, reflecting on all the effort that we put in various for various purpose, and the hardship that we go through for various the reasons, and so if at the end of that as a result of all this, really, if we do not find anything, something which we achieve our purpose, so which is again we have to ask, what is our purpose? So what is the meaning of our life? Then then we always say it is to do with finding achieving happiness and to reducing sufferings or unhappiness in our life, and so therefore the really sometimes when as a the if we take this in seriously, then from this perspective it gives some sort of sense of renunciations towards all the mundane activities and which do not even fulfill our own purpose, whatever we are seeking in our life. And so at the relating this, so we can also recall this great the advice that the Shantideva gave, how how even though all beings have this mind, have the strong thought of avoiding sufferings, but they however they continuously create the causes of the suffering, as almost as if that's what they meant to do it, like almost like the naturally following after creating the causes of the sufferings, and then although we all being we all wish for happiness, but yet when we destroy the causes of suffering, causes of happiness, with the ignorance, as if that those causes are like our enemies, and so this gives some, when we think on this, so this gives some sort of brings in our mind the contradictions, between what we wish and what we the actions that we create in our life. So and then if we continue the text, then it also says here, so moreover develop a fearless attitude towards hardships, thinking how you were misled by bad teachers to ignoble purposeless paths whereon you endure ascetic practices such as leaping on a trident, setting clothes to fires and the like.
Sendagarol Tajeso Red, she led the Shivarjin, Gasha Garizag, Yama Sa, Chat, the Guardian, Gasha Zagunda, Techunjure. Someone of the Halias and Subano Gasha Gasha Zaguntiman. Then Yaja, Maja, Soja Gasha Dunga, Tamala, Saint Juba, no, Solas. Conda Tenda Chunjure, what any Chunjure, the Gazing. Kaya Made, Chuck Zapo, then Tabaka, Kazan in Lesania. The activity, Chaga, Tikaja Zengua. You know, Geshe Doga, they check it down. Cyborg said, they go then, Cherry, not the check it there. When the Geshe Zavati and Channel, they were done, not there, they could give up, give up, Mamma. Central Dogi Tossel Cellas over the Nishan Yunga, Manja Sutai, the Major Dungola, the Massen, Senzubano Solas, Gashe, Majiba Sheba Shago, Ronye, the Jado, Rondo, Yella, Pemba Dribu, Shochu Dribu, the Nigita, Chidibu, Gasheda, then the Sonia, Majibata, then the Aposoga, then the Sandup Tsering, and then the other Sage. The other Chitaban, Session Machapa, Dungasuna, Session Machapa, Sam Mashu, Tinshing, either young other Dungasan, Sam Mashu, then saying, then you are young, that's on Tato, New Images, Dungapada, Mabadobi, Peso Mana, was a Tavalas of Tene, that Dungapan never be there some material.
And also says, also think how for the sake of inferior mundane purpose, you made yourself bear many suffering in farming, business, and war. So, so here the purpose so is to encourage ourselves to be to be able to overcome any hardship, any difficulty, any suffering that we face in pursuit of our Dharma practice, and then what is saying here that on the Dharma practice as a result that we can achieve from Dharma practice is really something very great, such achieving supreme enlightenment and to fulfilling the wishes, really true wishes of oneself and of all other beings. So therefore, it's saying that what it's saying is that we need to, in order to instill such determination, such courage, and motivations in our perceiving our spiritual practice. So it's saying that how it is so necessary, it's so worthwhile, and to even if you look at that, how when on the other hand, how in a world, how like such, there are some, as it says here, the misled by bad teacher to ignoble, so on. So how misled by such, a wrong teacher, some believe that if they, jump themselves into a three-pointed like a spear, then they will achieve liberation, and believing in that, and they are able to tolerate such amount of sufferings. Or some saying, if you these engage in ritual of fire, burning your all tip 5 finger with the fire, then you can reach, by tolerating that suffering, you can reach the liberation. And how there are some who misled by that, and who tolerate this, and likewise, as we can also see in the world, how whether you take into account of the life of the farmer, how hard the farmer have to work to make their living, in terms of whether they have to work in the farm, whether it's hot or cold, in extreme weather, and likewise we can also see how the business, people also have to work so hard, without any rest. So just to contemplating on this, when there are some people who whether misled by teacher or who for out of their ignorance, when they could face, when they could tolerate such the amount of sufferings for for no good reason, for such a very trivial purpose. So by reflecting on that, and then it, we can see that however why not, I should be, the tolerate whatever some hardship that I face in my practice. So which, as you said here, which compared to those other hardship in the people face in the world is really could be very small, but yet by understanding that purpose that you achieve from that goal, the set goal that you achieve is just so great, and so in this way to instilling the courage and the motivation for one's practice.
Shiva is a near the Nika dead and la, the car tended to the Yamaro. Testing in the lodger, Abu, maybe ched. She led them through the Yajawa son, so judge Dunga, Tamalas, sends you, but no, so last in it. Shiva in a bed, Dunga, Kanga Tole, in Lima, Kanga Tole, there, Kanga say, touch your Tiba, it. Kanga le kanga den zade yongoma da tenu sege da nga da lede kare na tachere da ngachere yare ngache tang da le mane ba zo je matin jogo men son tin to da de son to da lede kare den ase ye da je ro de shiva le cha da lo kha je da amra ga le shive go shiva ji lo ji sin de ta ba ro te de da lo mo guna mo ba ja de kha je te sa yo 저가 로 주주시. 그냥 사자 자체 뭐 싶었는데. 그러다 조마도 로 주주래. 로 주주래도 그걸 뽕가신데 뽕가이나 지. 다 저가 되고 깔리 작은데 그러 빠바이나 그때 로바나 생. 저가도 뭐 야라 싶었지산. 다 그러 조마대라 깔린데 다 사포 정하던데 들 강가 뭐데 늘로 저거데 강가로 제 강가 등 그러 다들 로지정데 야포리 로자 파스네 제 로지데 야포 능하들 인지하고 시고야 내내 알아지 들자 잔드스 저와 동안에 처지는 문스타시야 너네 저만 온데니 시행데 들 로지드네 대 저마들 그니 왜 아부시부지 나 제대로 빠서 야부 제 신가 야부 용사지 안 갈로 야부를 해서 내내 된데 때한테 기빠진데 되네 제대로 통랑에 야부 되세 너 깔래 자네 무쇠야지 동계서라 더인지만 이게 딱 근데 세가 내내 나 덤보 무쇠 좀 봐 이게서 소소로 깔래 자네 갈래 안 들어된 게 좋아 저는 안에 밑다 제공인데 대야라 등이세 다다요 뭐시바 저 보치주간 리가 주주주주주주주리니 다야 리가 첨보령 같은 주지 자 년에 대 저는데 가라 서서 로자 가라자 서서 내대 가라야 나 내대 저발라 강아시야래 대 돌려드시나 강한 저래 세생도와 그래서 강한 어느 대대 추주 되는 깔로 전부 작아야 돼. 들라서네 서서 제도 로제 인간을 팬비 대전부 잡아라 강아 제군들 센터 세지신 거. 로서 된 때문에 안 되지. 로서 때도 야부 때문에 선도도. 지든 지대니까 나가 찾게지 말래 용돼야지 다 동화 빠지면 너 패선가 되래.
So in here, the text, kind of shows, in a sense, in the as the like guidelines to live both the like a worldly life as well as a spiritual life. So as it says, even in worldly life, in order to fulfill your wish, your dream, then it says that you have to you have to make a lot of effort. You have to face a hardship and get over all this the problems, and just as like how seeing even if it's you are as a farmer, how they have to, in order to have a good harvest, they can't just say, oh, I own a very good land, but then just sleep the whole day, then they're not going to achieve anything. But rather you have to go out and really have to work so hard, and then at the end, then they are able to achieve that. So that it just shows that whatever activity that we undertake, so it shows that we have to put in effort, realizing that that there are, we have to trying to meet all the suitable conditions, gather all the suitable conditions on the one hand, and on the other hand, trying to overcome all the obstacles. So in this way, we are able to achieve our goal. So in relating to this, like once I watched one like a show on a series of show on TV, which is about some life of some like a American, like a farming family with a young couple, and then they have 5 children, but they own a very big piece of land in the show, and then it shows that the show went on for quite a long time, but it shows that how the man have to how hard he worked on the farm to support his the family, and as well as the wife as well, to trying to to do all the house chore work and to support the children with the educations. So kind of the show went on for a long time, then, and eventually it kind of and at the same time they were also also studying, perceiving some education. So anyway, it's then at the end, and then it shows they become very successful. The whole families has like a good ending. So like this, sometimes we can also give also a good inspirations to find to learn about the life story of particularly those successful people who have a very background of a very from a very like a ordinary life, or from a poor background, and then to through their hard work, then to become a very successful whatever it is in their field. And so there are these kind of stories can be how sometimes you could have a very highly reputable people, and how in early days, in their childhood, that they were like just nobody, and they were just started their success from doing a very the small like activities, and then move to the next. So in this way, it's important to what is saying here is as we follow, even when we follow the spiritual practice, where which we have to be, as it says, which we have to be very clear. If we know the purpose of our spiritual practice, then the purpose is so very great, compared to the mundane, and it is aimed at benefiting, fulfilling one's own ultimate spiritual goal, as well as to fulfill the benefiting all sentient beings. And so in this way, it is sometimes we need to, in order to be able to overcome and to not lose our motivation and courage in our practice. Just you know, you know, we need to, you know, it gives some sort of inspirations, you know, when we you know, think about that every, you know, how, you know, every people have to make a lot of effort and have to work hard in order to achieve a goal. Even something very mundane, something very small goal, they, you know, have to work so hard. So therefore, you know, we have to say to ourselves, okay, this is, compared to that, in fact, is maybe the hardship that we face in our practice is a very, you know, very minor, very minor, very small, and so therefore, however, it is when you think of the outcome, and so you know, it is so great. So in this way, the whole, you know, what is saying here, so is all relating to, so that we can, you know, we would never lose our motivations in our practice, and we are able to have enough determined and the courage to be able to face whatever the hardship and difficulty we face in our spiritual practice.
대 체질을 대비가 강아 체질 돌에 대 다스 다다 선선 다 영화 받으면 노비 패선 바래 다 세비 머시 라베제도 세모조지데 제니 세발레제다 타나 가첨보셔봐 다 매일 가셔지 영화 참문데 인데 좀他们的七八堂也是伢了说北京眼的两的都把那实的知道了的来说伢的差不多也就两你这七八弄了来吧说你感谢了没这边觉得你都觉得现在是他才都先去这条公交的
It's also it may be also inspiring to even to find out about how the early, you know, the migrants into into this land, Australia, you know, come from the Europe, and how those early migrants, you know, work so hard and really build the whole country and their own life. So these kind of things, and so now the continue with the reading. Reflecting on the benefit of dispelling immeasurable sufferings. So reflect well on the difference between short-term and long-term suffering. Thinking a man who is to be executed is overjoyed when he is freed from execution by having merely his fingers cut off. So how excellent it would be if similarly, by means of this slight suffering of human hardship, I could permanently dispel the suffering of limitless cyclic existence in general, and in particular the suffering of miserable rebirth such as the health, etc. So if you do this well, you produce fearless courage with respect to hardship.
다네 만지변이도 시대에서 다들 신이들 다 돌아 공개에는 다 소설 영화질래나 현재 통제 영화 대도 소소서 실내네 대다서 영화도 차서도 소소 마오발라는 시 영화 대자가 뒤코체 소소나 대네 다 이게네 대바빠는 와서 서 서는 세마가 저거서 드네 손도지 야라 손도지 지드네 야래도 대면 다 치트비 가셔서 당하도 하고 고고하래 얘네로 다다치 매 영화 때도 영화다 내가셔 당들래네 론도 야라잖아 펜비가 라 팬비가 다 원래 치드바 되네 잖아 다 정과 제바된 계속 영화 너 타제로 까제 될래제 말아 내세포 제라 팬바도 되바된 다 영화 뭐세 되네세 다리 통보셔야지 말아 쏴 채쇼 자 쏘 미송하지 쏘제 보나 아까지 과시도 해서 용한테 너무래 말아 쏴와지 라 근데 예배시니 민노 마가바 마제 제마토와를 때니가 다 셔마로시 줘다 드네드리야 가시제니다 손은 드니손 너도와서 다 미시제다 가는지 미시비셔러서다 매 동안다서도 제냐이 소다 다 동안 너바 셔더셔더래 소가 다다 동안 참번요 바디가 다 손대손 너대 대서 아세비다 하고도 세비 멋이잖아 라바제 가전 타나지 말래 다든다고 가전 모두 동아제제나 나타나지 말래 시송사다 아 줄이는 거나 맞아 봐줘 다든지 만대나 봐준 정도였어요.
So if if you are in doing this the meditation of giving and taking, then in here, then when you think about, reflect upon the sufferings and the hardship of all other beings, then you that they go through, and you can include this in your meditations, by thinking, taking upon all their hardship, all their suffering upon yourself, not only by thinking that how whatever that you the hardship that or the suffering that you are undergoing, so and then trying to think that as and then take upon you will accept this suffering by thinking and also reflecting that they're taking upon all the sufferings of all other beings, including their future, sufferings, and so therefore, just to think that by accepting these, so may all being other be free from the sufferings, and so in this way we have to think on the how as a way to instill our the motivations and the courage in our spiritual practice, to think of the benefit, the result of our spiritual practice, the practice that we do, so it has the result of such as even the achieving the liberation from cyclic existence, or has the potential to stop the lower rebirth, and so again, when we think of this, then again this gives some sort of the inspirations for one to make one think. It is since whatever practice that one is doing has such a important, very important outcome. For example, if you practice the act of refraining from the act of killing, so as a benefit of that, so you can as a result of that, then you can prevent the bad rebirth, and which is bad rebirth, and likewise how if we the refraining from the act of stealing, and then this has the benefit or the result of the of finding wealth and the good resources in the futures. So thinking of all this as well, to as a way to make one think that whatever that hardship the difficulty one go through in one's spiritual practice, or the effort that one put in the practice. So I think that these are all very worthwhile. No?
다 주진의 거나 되는 막아와나서 내가 주거나 거나 라 먼저 이제 거야 돼 내가 주 공부지 내가 첨부지 잡아샤스 다 되네.
And then they continue, engaging in the Bodhisattva state says, how is it unfortunate if a man who is to be executed is freed from that by having his hand cut off? How is the unfortunate it by human suffering you are released from hell?
건딜라는 나라 세거라 로전아 제트네 이제 라야나 너한테 세거라 셰도 제바래 되네 제 라나 건디시 지스로 예대시야래 근데 지바래 거나 라면 나건도 마고 봐 가나 라면 니데 거야 셀 걸 컨디션나 컨디티오 건요 건바데 라라 저거 차저 말레스 제제 내가 중요제 거나 내가 첨부에 잡아야지 내내는 가서 주시는 가 거기 제가 내가 주제고 뭐도 로바가 파자주 마 소소 내를 로비지 체대제 녀면녀도 먼저 되는 드라마를 되는 손에 새들 못대하지는 거지 새 못대하지는 되는 아주 큰 거지 용어도 대체의 파진 제자는 예막게지 컨트롤로네 진 되게 첨부지 전화에 제트바지 용어야 네 손 된도다 네 너가 때 아분도 세워래 거나 라면 이제 거야 만 건데 새거라 건데 라나 대 제선로 예대 지와래 세단도 면에 보여래 손 대통도 와지 다니다 영화 출연 거나 출연 거도 다 손 대지 너무 채워 제토와 추추추추 제안스네 갈래 갈더니 야보라는데 로바제는 근로사는 아로게 뭐게 되게 생게 다 됐는데 안도 친구는 뭐 보지 되는 라거든 로바거로 근로사 아로게 뭐게 되게 가까이 생내고면도 생겨 와 되지 야보베.
So then continue, how it is not difficult to bear suffering if you gradually grow accustomed to it, starting with the small. So engaging in the Bodhisattva's deed states, there's nothing whatsoever that does not become easier through habituations. So by becoming used to small harms, so you will bear great harms as well. So this in here, so we learned that how whether something is it's hard or easy. So it is depends on our familiarities, our habituation with that thing. And so therefore we learn here that how if we understand that with the habituation, becoming habituated, then we can really change. We can change the anything. So this kind of gives some sort of notion, some sort of advice to us that then this some sort of like inspiration in the qualities that we
just never just I don't want to the level some which the coaches journey doing children such Shina, Dunga Tonda, Leba Cheche, then Jeros, that children are called Zava Cheche, no Cheche, and Road, children are going to shelters that they are called Loti Lechonsa.
So, as he says here, after you have conceived the armor-like thoughts to accept sufferings, so you gradually blend it with sufferings, starting with small sufferings. So when you do this, so you steadily increase your capacity to accept sufferings. So this shows out how in order to develop our practice of patience. So the best way is first we start with the developing patience towards something which is very easy, which is within our capacities. So it could be, for example, could be something able to you start with the cultivating patience through the if you are living with someone who has always this the habit of always speaking one harshly, or and then trying to make an effort to tolerate to those some few words of unpleasant few unpleasant words, and then from there then you can take the patient even to then even towards the speech which is even more harsh than the previous one. So likewise it's good to do with the bodily unpleasant bodily gesture that your friend showed to you again. So you're trying to learn that develop the patience towards that. So and then the text continue with this quote from the Compendium of Training, which says, so once you have first grown used to small sufferings, so you will become accustomed to the difficult and very difficult. For example, just as all living beings have the idea that suffering is happiness through the power of conditioning, so you maintain the idea of joy whenever you experience suffering by becoming used to applying the idea of joy to this experience. 강아 가제제 강아 체유 콜드는 이도 대지 체진 주마요나 강아 거 주미자매 제나요 영화 첨보에 쳐서 저는 조선 네 영화 가제제 대지가 치대비든 다 조선 로하는 치대비가 가제 로고야 말때 맨나 영화 돌려 말때는 안도 영화를 세슈 되는 양해제 세슈를 마대고요 다선 된도다 되는 뭐가 전문인데야 남아라 세 때보다 주바시 이 거에서 제래 시바지 남아다베 세도 자샤고 쓰려고 이냥만 류거든 시페 류 가봐야 본정도 아도 근데 내가 맞아 세도 봐 너도 류거 맞아 세도 시파 너지거든 너도 류 가봐야나 마찬가지로 때문에 오면 돼요 이제나 세 셔다 제 땡충비지 니도 게자 세 사보되는 거 말해서 아무튼 뒤치는 아무튼 대자고요 세 빼자고요 세 셔다 땡충비지도 니도 게지 세 사미 뭐 네 아무튼 뒤치는 자용돼요
You don't think a chamber each other, say, gives us, pen the bone gashi, that imagine then, no man, and then that was young Roman, how to some.
Then continue as to how this come about. The question of householders, Ugra Sutra states, free yourself from a mind that is like a piece of cotton. So here, a mind is like a cotton wool. If it's easily affected or disturbed or agitated by such any arising of any disturbing thoughts, and then the Arya, the Aries of Stock Sutra says, daughter, in order to destroy all afflictions, you should develop a mind that is hard to defeat. So thus, you need courage that is very firm and stable. You will not be able to accept suffering with a fragile mind. So if you initially develop a significant degree of courage, even great sufferings become helpful. So the implication is that how the greater the one's the challenges that is one is facing, that is ahead of one. So if one have already prepare oneself one in advance with a higher degree of such a courageous mind, and then as it says here, then even that the great challenge, the great difficulty, then it no become no more difficulty. So rather, it can be such our difficulty, the suffering can be transformed as a aid, as a help in our practice. So then it says it is just like the case of warriors, entering a battle and using the sight of their own blood to increase their boldness. So if right from the start you belittle yourself, saying, I have never heard of such a thing, and even if I have heard of it, I could never do something like that, then even a small suffering become a cause for you to turn back from the path. So it is just like the case of cowards who see others' blood and fainting, fall unconscious.
That's it, my dear. So, when I bought a gadget, the other ship and wrong each other. Try Tona, you thought Jay, Jenny by Janos, the one and that about my teaching. Teacher, name the nature, the Mayo, Senator, Rochetta, Senana, Duma Chungy Jones, and Lolly, Dobby, Jen, Jates, and the Turner, letting in the Hana Des Sonia Marcia, no, then. That's it, him and and then Loja, the money, that about Mantusi, teacher, and then that's the Mayo, Senate, and the Ronchet, the Senna, then doing my chungy, Lolly, Dobby, Jet, and Jates.
So, as I read before, so if so, like saying, I have, if right from the start, you belittle yourself, saying, I have never heard of such a thing, and even if I had heard of it, I could never do something like that, then even a small sufferings become a cause for you to turn back from the path. So perhaps we stop here and go over the meaning of this in the next week. Bring the tea. Thank you.
And then they said they have been. That Matisi, him, Maja, Senate, Ronchet, Senate, he tell us, and do my chungy, Lord of you.
So if you get a chance, it's good to even to read out this in a line and just it should sound to your mind, and it has a lot of effect. Just as saying how on the I have never heard of such a thing, and even if I had heard of it, I could never do something like that. Then like how by thinking like that we are undermining ourselves, our own potential, and then even if I heard of it, I could never do something like that. Then even a small suffering become a cause for you to turn back from the path. Yes. Again.
Some people say, some people say, that's mine, not yours.
Yeah.
That's mine, not yours.
It's not your problem, yeah? So they...
Some people just hold it that that's my problem, that's my problem. No can cut. It's just my problem. Just hold it, hold it. Some people worry. I said, no, don't worry. Because my son, my daughter, because I mother, I worry. I said, worry no benefit you, worry no benefit you, no. Worry benefit no your daughter or son, You just help them. What need there? You help. That's better. That's my son, my daughter. Because I worry by my daughter. No, here hold it. Here hear it. Here suffer it. Or daughter or son problem, no less problem, no less problem. Less problem, no do, mother do, father do, brother do, sister do. Then I said, you help better. What he need, she need, You what can. Money problem, you live money problem. Mama, mine live, you take a live holiday or cup of tea, lunch, live go outside. That's beneficial. So what is then you bad? I worry. Release a lot of. That's my. No, your my problem. That's my problem. Yeah. Yeah, done it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, the time.